Aho, welcome my friends, Sashay, Aloha, Namaste. Welcome to another month of Astro News. My kind of news, no politics, no talking heads, just accurate news. And quote me if you want to, because it will happen. Now let's see what's going on for the month of August 2020. As if it hasn't been rough enough, there's going to be more fun and frolic, I promise you. First of all, I want to tell you that I do predict that there will be a vaccine by December. And I think by mid-January, all of us will be looking forward to a life without masks. Yes, we can put the masks away, but I would store them in a drawer because, as Sylvia Browne said in her predictions in 2020, that in 10 years it will come back. So you don't want to put that mask too far away or throw it away. The other thing, we just had a full moon on the 3rd of August, and that was a humdinger. It had Uranus in play with it, and it was in Aquarius. So all you Aquarians are starting to feel the impact of the age of Aquarius, because that's what we're moving into. We're coming out of the age of Pisces, and we're going into the age of Aquarius. So that full moon with that square of Uranus pulled up that Hurricane Isaias. It didn't do much damage because luckily on a full moon, it doesn't hang around that much. So if you hear some bad news on that, or if you, indicate some kind of problematic situation on a full moon, it never lasts too long. So that's the saving grace of our full moon this month in August. Now the new moon will be on August 18th, and it will be at 21 degrees Leo, so you Aquarians are going to get a nice aspect of that because you oppose Leo. And what do I say always on a new moon? You write your inclinations and your desires on a piece of paper, and you put it in a drawer or sachet or wherever you feel like it's sacred. And you write it about 24 hours before the new moon. And that will indicate that all your wishes will come true that month. So don't forget to do that on that moon. Now Mars is going to be in Aries for 6 months. 6 months, did you say, Cindy? Yes, I said 6 months, Cindy. 6 months of Mars, the red planet. Luckily for Arians, that's their ruler. So it's not going to be too hard for the Arians, but for all of us others that don't have Aries as our ruling planet or sign, that's going to be a little hard to take. 6 months. So Aries, in Aries, Mars is going to retrograde back in September to November. That's a long retrograde. So what happens when retrogrades happen? Nothing happens. Nothing. So for all the Arians, they might as well just kind of play Rip Van Winkle for a while. And the rest of us get out the chessboards and Parcheesi and Monopoly or whatever. Just like the summer, all the planets are going retrograde, so it's not doing a darn thing for anybody. So this is the year of a lot of stagnant times. Nobody, I think, is going to hail 2020 as the year of great fortune. Now Mercury, its little brother, is going to go retrograde too from September to November. So that's kind of a double whammy. And then I have the big news for you. This is big, okay? This is worth the whole video to tell you that on Election Day, November 4th, both Mercury and Mars will be in retrograde. you know what that means. It's going to be holy hell. The last time this configuration happened, it was in the 1800s, and Adams and Jefferson were duking it out in a horrible, fierce fight for presidency. And the last time that Mars turned around, which it will be doing on the 4th, and starting to go direct, guess what happened then in history? Yeah, a couple years ago, Bush and Gore were duking it out, and we had the infamous Florida Chad hanging. Oh my God, what is this going to be? Can you imagine? Lots of anger, lots of frustration, lots of irritability. I think I'll just kind of find a cruise ship somewhere and be away from it all. Oh my God, it's going to be fierce. Oh well, it's better to have excitement than nothing at all, right? That will be when we're all coming out of these horrendous stagnant periods with Mars and Mercury retrograde. We're just starting to come out of it, and all that will be flying around. So look forward to some fun for the last part of this year. So Mars will be in retro in September to November, and Mercury the same, okay? Now Mars is that shaker and the mover, so once it goes direct again, it will leave Aries next year. But again, because it's the ruler of Aries, the Arian should not have any problems with it, and it is going to oppose all Librians. So they're the ones that will have to deal with the most of the rebel rousing of our red planet, Mars. The smaller planets like Mercury, Venus, and Mars, they don't do a whole lot to change our lives, but we feel the effects of them more because they are closer to the Earth than the bigger planets like Uranus and Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto. Those are the ones that really change our lives. So you could see what we're up against. There's going to be more economic hardship. And what will help is that Venus is going to change signs this month and go into Cancer from Gemini. So when it's in Cancer, it's going to oppose Capricorn, and that'll be great for Capricorns and Cancers. It'll be great for all the signs, but particularly those signs. When Venus goes into Cancer, it's going to be great for buying a new home, being with your family, making investments in the home, clearing the decks, throwing stuff away. You get my drift. All the fun stuff. And Mercury leaves Leo and goes into Virgo. So instead of the fun, where can we vacate this year by car with our Mass, we're going to go into the more serious note and start looking at our bank accounts and our investments and who we owe. And so Virgo may be a more sobering sign, but it certainly is more solid than the fun and live it up type of Leo energy that we have had. The sweetest full moon is about to come, and that's going to happen on September 1st. And that is one of the most sweetest, nicest moons that we've had, full moons, in a long time. There are no aspects to it that should make it shabby, and it's going to be in Pisces. So the Pisces and Virgos, once again, are going to get that sweetness, and it's going to really impact your love life, and maybe a new romance will come in. And so that's the good news. And then Saturn is going to, at the end of the year, go back into Aquarius, which opposes Leo. So if you can think back what was happening a couple months ago with the Leos and Saturns, that's what you got a taste of it went back into Capricorn. And by the way, Capricorns, you're going to get rewarded in January for a fine job done with 2 years of Saturn. That is a hard thing to do. So now the Leos and the Aquarians will have their bout of Saturn for the next 2 years. Now, about the biggest thing that will be happening in the fall will be Jupiter and Saturn will conjunct. That means collide, means touch, bump into, whatever you want to call it. And that is going to create more with the pandemic, civil unrest, and economical strife. I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer, but I have to tell it like it is. Now, my hope is that the vaccine comes to view. But with Jupiter, and which multiplies everything, and Saturn, which is very regimented, limiting, vigilant, that's teaching us patience and vigilance. So that's going to collide again from September to December. It's all going to be the same that we started into, because it did start in January, and it's going, and then it went into to the summer. We got a little breather space. You saw how people were affected by the little breather we got. They were not vigilant. They were not patient. They wanted to do what they wanted to do. And so then, my friends, we pay for it again, with Jupiter coming back with Saturn for a full-blown event in September to December. I can't tell you that 2020 has been our most favorite year, but we have been on our toes, and we have experienced the beginning of the Aquarian age and the new and great awakening. Stay well, my friends. Be well. Find little joys in life. And tomorrow night I will present the Astro News for each individual sign. Aloha, namaste, ashe, aho.